Welcome back! My name is Baller Scuba. This is Video Games Over Time. We are still in 1984, and we are still in The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. When we last left off, we escaped the Vogon ship after escaping Earth. Earth is now destroyed. We had to deal with some Vogon poetry, but we made it out, and we're now on the Heart of Gold. Now, this is where the game, I would say, gets particularly mean, but we'll get to that when we get to that. We are in entry bay number 2, which was a good stopping point, I feel. We can wait here because Ford Prefect is here. Right, this is an entry bay for the Heart of Gold. A corridor lies aft of here. Ford Prefect is here. There's a sales brochure here. Let's go ahead and wait. Come on, let's look for the bridge. You follow forward and eventually come to the bridge. This is the bridge of the Heart of Gold. A gangway leads down, and steam comes from an entrance to port. Next to the control console is Eddie, the shipboard computer. At the controls, apparently expecting you and Ford, are a man with more than the usual number of heads. The name Zaphod is stitched on his shirt, and a dark-haired woman holding a handbag. Both seem familiar somehow. There's a molecular hyperwave pincer here. Yes, when it comes to Zaphod and his heads, he's got 2 heads. We kind of saw that in my intro if you were paying attention. But when they talk about the number of heads, they don't say how they're positioned. And I always pictured them side by side, similar to what we saw. But other interpretations have been up and down, because the book doesn't say. But that's just me. Anyway, we need to get the pincer. Hey, Zaphod, how you doing, says Ford. He's cool. Not bad, Ford. Great to see you, replies Zaphod. He's cooler. You suddenly realize that the woman is Trisha McMillan. Call me Trillian. Whom you were trying to pick up at a party in Islington just a few weeks ago. And that Zaphod is the guy she eventually left the party with. Odd. So yeah, Trillian here left a party with a man with 2 heads and you didn't notice? I don't know. I think I would notice. But maybe he can hide the head every once in a while, the second head. All right, we're going to put the pincer in the thing. Done. Like my spaceship, Ford? Zaphod asks. Your spaceship, says Ford, losing his cool for a second. Yeah, I stole it, Zaphod admits. I'm going to use it to find the legendary lost planet of Magrathea. Let's go sit in the sauna while I explain. Zaphod, Ford, and Trillian all head off to port. Okay, we're going to drop all. We have all our stuff, so we drop the towel, the gown, the plotter, the thing your aunt gave you, which you don't know what it is. It falls to the ground with a light thunk. It doesn't do anything else at all. The babblefish cannot be dropped. You'll have to remove it first. Luckily, we're not going to do that. We drop the guide, the signaling device, and the very important pocket fluff. Probably not as important as I made it sound, but we're going to get the towel, and we're going to go down the gangway to the corridor, the fore end. This is one end of a short corridor that continues aft along the main deck of the Heart of Gold. Doorways lead to fore and port. In addition, a gangway leads upward. Okay, we're going to go south from here. This is one end of a short corridor that continues fore along the main deck of the Heart of Gold. Doorways lead to aft and port. In addition, a gangway leads downward. Yeah, we're at the aft end, but we're going to head south from here. That entrance leads to the infinite improbability drive chamber. It's supposed to be a terribly dangerous area of the ship. Are you sure you want to go in there? Yes. Absolutely sure? I said yes. I can tell you don't want to, really. You start away with a spring in your step, wisely leaving the drive chamber safely behind you. Telegrams arrive from well-wishers in all corners of the galaxy congratulating you on your prudence and wisdom, cheering you up immensely. I said south. What? You're joking, of course. Can I ask you to reconsider? South. You're in the infinite improbability drive chamber. Nothing happens. There is nothing to see. You sure about that? Let's look. I mean it, there's nothing to see here. I said look. Look how many points we got for that. Okay, there are a few things to see here. This is the room that houses the powerful infinite improbability generator that drives the Heart of Gold. An exit lies 4 of here. Sitting in the corner is a spare portable improbability generator. There is an ionic diffusion rasp here. There is a pair of hypersonic pliers here. Okay, we're going to get generator, pliers, and rasp. Okay, I'm going to save at this point because I tried this a little bit earlier and this is what screwed me over. So we're gonna save here. I don't know if I have the thing back. It comes back in my inventory. You might have noticed that when I dropped all of the things, I dropped the thing and I put the pincer in the thing. It just randomly shows back up in your inventory. So put pliers and rasp in thing. And if it doesn't work, I'm going to reload. You can't see anything here, like I said. This is what screwed me over, and I don't think it would this time, but I'll talk about that when we get to it. But I'm not going to mess around with it if I can't do it. So let's head north from here. All right. Oh, this is one end of a short corridor that continues 4 along the main deck of the Heart of Gold. Doorways lead to aft and port. In addition, a gangway leads downward. There's a thing your aunt gave you, which you don't know what it is here. It looks like the thing your aunt gave you, which you don't know what it is, contains a molecular hyperwave pincer, a toothbrush, and a flathead screwdriver. How it ended up here, I'm not entirely sure. But we're going to go north from here. This is one end of a short corridor that continues aft along the main deck of the Heart of Gold. Doorways lead to fore and port. In addition, a gangway leads upward. From here, we want to go west into the galley. You're in the galley area of the ship, containing a machine which is the state-of-the-art in nutritional technology. A Sirius Cybernetics Corporation Nutramat. There's an exit to starboard. A carton labeled Nutramat computer interface is sitting here. So we're going to examine machine. The Nutramat has a touch-sensitive pad, a dispensing slot, and a service panel which is closed. It bears a small label which reads, another fine product of the Sirius Cybernetics Corporation. Apparently they make a lot of things. We're going to press the pad. The Nutramat makes an instant but highly detailed examination of your taste buds, a spectroscopic analysis of your metabolism, and sends tiny experimental signals down your neural pathways to see what you like. A cupful of advanced tea substitute appears in the dispensing slot. Finally, we can get the tea. Okay, let's get the ATS. Taken. Zaphod Beeblebrox walks in and presses the touch-sensitive pad. The Nutramat produces a huge, ice-cold, pan-galactic gargle blaster. Zaphod heads off towards the sauna, sipping loudly. Okay, we're going to head east from here and up. Okay, so I believe that I have the thing. This is where... You know what? I can do a little bit. So, drop all... Actually, let's drop here. Let's save here before I drop everything. So, like, I can call it Hitch 2 still at this point. We're going to try at this point to put pliers and rasp in the thing. Okay, so those are in the thing. I can do that at this point because the thing chased me down and got back in my inventory. We're going to drop all... Yeah, the thing was in my inventory and it falls to the ground with a light thunk and it doesn't do anything else. I dropped the spare improbability drive and the towel. We're going to get my tea back and the towel. There are dingly bits for the ATS because that's how tea sometimes works. Usually works, at least in my experience with tea, but, you know, there's lots of different experiences. So we're going to put the dingly bit into the tea. That is important. We are going to put a small plug in a small receptacle. All right, that is plugged. And at this point, I'm going to save again. I'm getting real sketchy about this because things are a little bit random at this point and bad things can happen. Let's press the switch. I haven't gotten the warning yet, though. There is a warning that'll tell you basically loose lips cost lives, something similar to that. I don't remember the exact phrasing that they use. Once you see that, if you type in something that the game doesn't understand, you can screw yourself over and lose the game. So let's look out for that and make sure I type everything in perfectly. Press the switch. Okay, you are disoriented. Blackness swims toward you like a shoal of eels who have just seen something that eels like a lot. All right, let's go ahead and wait. We're in the dark. And we're going to pay attention to the senses again. So hear, see, smell, feel, taste. What we need to do every time this happens, because it's going to happen a few times, is we need to wait 4 times. You see, feel, hear, taste, but I can smell something. So let's go ahead and smell. It does smell a bit. There's something pungent waving under your nose. Your head begins to clear. You can make out a shadow moving in the dark. Hopefully I get the right one here. Look at shadow. Yes. Okay, so as long as I do everything exactly the right way, I can do this and get into the lair. The shadow is vaguely bug bladder beast shaped. This is the lair of the ravenous bug bladder beast of Trawl. There are exits east and southwest. The ravenous bug bladder beast of Trawl is here, looking particularly nasty and hungry. The beast whips its evil-smelling tail away from your nose and bellows a brain-shattering roar. By suddenly popping out of nowhere, you have disturbed its train of thought. However, since its train of thought was the usual one, and in fact the only one it knows, which goes like this: hungry, 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 bad-tempered, hungry. It soon starts to chug along again. You notice the beast's laser-o zap eyes, its swivel sheer teeth, and its several dozen tungsten carbide vast pane claws, forged in the sun furnaces of Zangrajad. It has skin like a motorway and breath like a 747. It advances on you and roars out a demand that you say your name. All right, say Arthur. The beast roars your name with relish and explains that once it has eaten you, your name will be added to its list of remembrance. Let's go east to the outer lair, the beast's outer lair. This is a large walled courtyard. Strewn about are a profusion of gnawed bones bleaching in the sun. In case the significance of these fails to strike you, there is also a sandstone memorial in the middle of the courtyard on which the beast has roughly carved the names of all its victims. Some sharp stones lie near the exit to the west. Bellowing with rage, the beast charges after you. This doesn't sound good at all. We're going to put the towel over our head. Maybe that'll do something. The ravenous bug bladder beast of Trawl is completely bewildered. It is so dim, it thinks that if you can't see it, it can't see you. You have a few seconds before it realizes its mistake. We're going to get the stone, and we're going to carve Arthur on the memorial. You chip away with the stone. It's not your best writing, what with your mounting sense of panic and a towel wrapped around your head. However, it suffices. Just as the beast is trying to work out where you've disappeared to, it suddenly sees your name freshly carved on its memorial of remembrance. Mystery solved. It realizes it must have already eaten you in a fit of absent-mindedness. Its mind is very, very small and quite frequently absent. It decides to give up the rest of its afternoon to the twin arts of digestion and contemplation. It settles down for a snooze. Okay, now we can remove the towel. Very important step here. You unwrap the towel from your head. This is a large walled court. Yes, we have gone through all of that. The thing that my aunt gave me, which I don't know what it is, has shown up again. The beast is in the corner sleeping peacefully. Okay. From here, I want to go west to the main lair. We will go southwest. to the inner lair. This is the heart of the beast's lair. The only exit leads northeast. The skeleton of a dead beast hunter lies nearby, clutching something labeled Nutramat Computer Interface. I will take that. Thank you. And then I can just wait here a couple times, and time passes. Suddenly, a team of Fronerbdian beast hunters charges in, intent on catching the beast for their zoo. Mistaking you for the beast, they fire stun guns at you, wrapping you in nets, and install you in a lovely little lair in the Fronerbdi National Zoo. 3 months later, the error is discovered, but while your damage suit is pending in the Fronerbdian court, your damage suit, lawsuit, is pending in the Fronerbdian courts, the planet is invaded by bureaucratic pirates from Paladon 4. Impressed into bondage for a 16-year filing and sorting mission on the so-called basement world of Sporla in the Lesser Magellanic Cloud, you escape with the help of a tribe of nomadic asteroid painters. So yeah, impressed means like kidnapped. In this sense, like impressed into military service, and a filing and sorting mission, and Magellan. There were so many things going on there. All right, you develop a unique talent for asteroid painting, gaining considerable fame throughout the cloud. A nickel ore deluxe is commissioned by His Royal Gorpness Felk, the ruler of the 900 worlds of Gorp. But whilst working on this new masterpiece, your asteroid slips into a small passing black hole. Everything becomes dark. Jeez. Okay. We'll wait. And once again, we'll wait for the senses. So it's 4 waits here. Smell, taste, see, feel, which means I can hear. There's an exit to port. I will go south, which luckily takes us back to entry bay number 2. South and up. Okay. So now we can put the chipper in the thing. That's not good. I think I'll be okay. I don't have the thing. Why don't I have the thing? I should have the thing. All right. We'll go down and west. Back to the galley. We will get interface. You already have it. No. Bad things have happened. Okay, so this is what happens when the bad things happen. It is, of course, well known that careless talk costs lives, but the full scale of the problem is not always appreciated. For instance, at the exact moment you said, put chipper in thing, which cost me here, a freak wormhole opened in the fabric of the space-time continuum and carried your words far, far back in time across almost infinite reaches of space to a distant galaxy where strange and warlike beings were poised on the brink of frightful interstellar battle. The two opposing leaders were meeting for the last time. A dreadful silence fell across the conference table as the commander of the Vilhurgs, resplendent in his black jeweled battle shorts, gazed levelly at the Gugvint leader squatting opposite him in a cloud of green, sweet-smelling steam. As a million sleek and horribly beweaponed starcruisers poised to unleash electric death at his single word of command, the Vilhurg challenged his vile enemy to take back what it had said about his mother. The creature stirred in its sickly, broiling vapor, and at that very moment, the words put chipper in thing drifted across the conference table. Unfortunately, in the Vilhurg tongue, this was the most dreadful insult imaginable, and there was nothing for it but to wage terrible war for centuries. Eventually, the error was detected, but over 250,000 worlds, their peoples and cultures perished in the Holocaust. You have destroyed most of a small galaxy. Please pick your words with greater care. Yeah, I'm not sure there's coming back from when that happened, so I'm just going to not. And, let's do it here. Okay, so we're on the bridge. I think we have to go through that whole thing again. So let's What did I want to put in? Put pliers and rasp. No, those are already in the thing. Right, I already did that. I believe I did everything that I need to do, so I can just hit the switch. Okay, wait, and wait. And it is smell. Okay, look at shadow. And we'll quickly go through this. Say Arthur, east, put towel overhead, get stone, carve Arthur on memorial, remove towel, west, southwest, get interface, wait and wait, did I screw up? By typing too quickly, am I going to have to do this again? Here, south, south, up. Okay, I think I'm okay. Let's save here as hitch 4, just in case I screwed that up with mistyping 8. Well, wait, but we'll see. All right. If I drop all, do I have the thing? See, this time I have it. Like I said, it's just kind of random. So now I can put chipper in thing, and it's fine. The way that this game works sometimes just bothers me, but it's supposed to be kind of weird and random, and I get that, but yeah. Okay, so put the chipper in the thing, move down and west. Oh, look, you feel a wave of depression sweep over you, and you turn to see that Marvin, the robot, has stalked miserably into the room. Okay, we're back at the galley. Okay, we can get the interface. I already have it. Examine Nutrimate. It should be... That should have done it. All right, I don't trust this, so let's go back a bit. Okay. I put the chipper in the thing. Put chipper in thing. Right, that's where I need to go. Down west. Get carton. Okay, I got the carton, which is what I needed to do. And it's not Nutrimate, it's Nutrimat. There we go. The Nutrimat has a touch-sensitive pad, a dispensing slot, and a service panel which is closed. It bears a small label which reads another fine product of the Sirius Cybernetics Corporation. Okay, we're going to open the panel. Ooh. Oh, my fingers were not aligned there. Hold on. Opening the Nutrimat reveals a circuit board. Okay, we're going to get the board, drop the board, put interface in panel, press pad. There we go. The Nutrimat is puzzled that you want something made by pouring boiling water on dead leaves and squirting stuff from a cow in it. It says it will need some help from Eddie, the shipboard computer. The Nutrimat begins to whir. Like, make me some real tea here. I don't want the tea substitute. That's not going to work for me. Okay, east and up, back to the bridge. This time we're going to put the large cord in large receptacle. Let's make sure I type I'm like paranoid about making a typo now. Okay. Marvin wanders off. Yeah, Marvin's been following me around for a little bit. Okay. We will wait. Announcement. This is Eddie, the shipboard computer. Emergency situation. Nuclear missiles have just been launched at us from the approaching planet, which my data banks indicate is the legendary lost planet of Magrathea. I cannot perform evasive maneuvers because all circuits are currently engaged by the Nutrimat. The missiles will turn this ship into a huge atomic fireball in approximately 8 turns. By the way, somebody didn't finish their spinach at dinner. Okay, that's not good. Let's go ahead and save here, because now my time is very limited. All right, we got 5. Let's press the generator switch. As you flip the switch, sparks fly from the large receptacle. My new control console wails Eddie, the shipboard computer. This is the thanks I get? The universe goes crazy for a moment. Announcement. This is Eddie, the shipboard computer. The missiles have turned into a sperm whale at an improbability factor of 2 to the 39,745th power to 1 against. The whale is currently plummeting toward the legendary lost planet of Magrathea. I hope this will teach you to listen to me when I say that legendary lost planets can be dangerous. I am proceeding with the preset landing instructions. Ford, Zaphod, and Trillian saunter by on their way back to the sauna. Good work, kid, says Zaphod, slamming you on the back. Okay. So we got it. If you do go and look at the TV show or the novel, the sperm whale gets like a whole section. It's kind of crazy how much time they spend on that sperm whale. But I'm gonna save. Like I am paranoid about so many things here. Let's go ahead and go down and west back to the galley. You're in the galley of the area of the ship containing a machine, which is all right. There is a circuit board here. It looks like the slot contains T. It looks like the Nutrimat contains a Nutrimat computer interface. Hooray! Let's go ahead and get T. Like, I'm trying really hard not to make a mistake at this point. All right, get T. The no T has been dropped. That would be the ATS, I believe. Or no, I had no T in my inventory and now I dropped it. Let's go ahead and go east and up. Back to the bridge. We will remove the dangly bit from the ATS, from the fake T. The long dangly bit is no longer suspended in advanced T substitute. We can put the dangly bit in the T. Now we can press the generator switch. Your disoriented blackness swims towards you like a shoal of eels who have just seen something that eels like a lot. All right. Now I can actually control things a bit. There's a part of me that wants to save, but we will wait. No. Wait, what happened before? Didn't I do things right? Let's wait again. I think I can actually recover it from it at this point. But why couldn't I put the dingly bit in the T? Taste, see, feel, smell. Okay, so yeah, every time now there's going to be a different sense that is gone. I just don't want to go here to here and south. So we will wait, see, feel, hear, taste. So I do have access to smell. I don't need to do anything with smell anymore. There's 2 options for smell. That's bug, bladder, beast, and the Vogon hold. If you go to the Vogon hold, and I believe you just automatically get sent back here. Okay, so we can wait again. Hear, smell, taste, feel. Here. Okay, so I can see. I believe I need to do something with see. Let's try C. You see a painfully bright light that stabs at the back of your eyes. Look at light. Okay, the light resolves itself into the bright orange sun of Damagran. The pain at the back of your eyes is from partying until very late last night, and both your heads are suffering the worst hangover you've ever experienced. You remember formulating a plan to steal the Heart of Gold, but you can't for the life of you remember any details. And we made it to the presidential speedboat. In the pilot seat. You are piloting the speedboat, which features very simple controls toward the island of France. Footnote 3, where the dedication ceremonies for Heart of Gold will occur. You are currently steering the boat toward a narrow channel between towering cliffs and a rocky spire. There's a toolbox here outside the pilot seat. Okay, look under seat. You discover and pick up a small key and a piece of fluff under the seat cushion. All right, you continue to steer toward the narrow channel. Let's unlock the toolbox. The toolbox opens, revealing a magnifying glass with a laser-assisted monkey wrench. You continue to steer toward the narrow channel. Okay, let's put the fluff in toolbox. And then we'll get the toolbox. And then we will steer towards Spire. The boat is now heading straight at the rocky spire. Wait 1, 2, 3 times. Suddenly the autopilot leaps to life, steering the boat away from the rocky spire. The crowd gathered for the dedication oohs and ahs as the boat swerves through the narrow channel. As it reaches the base of the towering cliffs, a plume of water forms under it, sending it higher and higher. The crowd bursts into applause as the boat reaches the top of the cliff, just south of the ceremonial dais. All right. So after waiting those 3 times, we want to stand and go out to the dais. As you step out of the boat, a plume of water lowers it away. The crowd, unaware of the autopilot, bursts into a round of admiring applause. We're on the dais. This is a platform surrounded by a crowd. Several members of the crowd are holding a huge banner. Just to the east is the Heart of Gold. Once we're out there, we want to wait. The crowd cheers wildly. It thinks you're terrific. 4 times. There's a lot of waiting in this one. The crowd cheers wildly. It thinks you're terrific. Suddenly, Trillian leaps out of the crowd, grabs you by the necks, and points a blaster at your left head. Guards rush up. So left head. So they are saying side by side. Guards rush up. Photon rifles poised to shoot. Stay back, shouts Trillian. One more step and the president of the galaxy is fried meat. The guards seem unsure and look at you for instructions. We will... say, guards, drop rifles. The guards hesitate, then toss their photon rifles into a pile in front of you. Trillian, shoot rifles. With a cloud of sparks, the pile of photon rifles disintegrates. The crowd cheers wildly. It thinks you're terrific, and will head east, back into the dark. You and Trillian enter the Heart of Gold, that beautiful bauble that you've been coveting ever since your decision to run for president of the galaxy. The excitement overwhelms you, or perhaps it's just the awesome hangover from last night. Everything becomes dark. Okay, so I need to go to several different locations here. That was one of them, was the presidential speedboat. I do need to go to the other one if I can see. Okay. So, see, feel, hear, taste, smell. I need to wait 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. Okay. And I should be able to hear, and then I can go south, and that takes me to entry bay number 2. Then I go south again, up. Press generator switch. You know what? Let's save just in case. I'll call this number 7. All right, press generator switch. Like, this is a game that, like, I could already be screwed out of winning, and I just don't know it yet. Yeah, okay, so hear, taste, see, feel, which means I can smell. I don't need to do anything with smell anymore. Wait, so I can hear, smell, taste, feel, which means I can see. I do need to do the other thing that I can see. We already went to the presidential speedboat, so let's see if I can go to the other one. I need to go to... That's it, the country lane. All right. The light resolves itself into the bright yellow sun of Earth. You are hurrying up a country lane. The sky is light and clear, but you keep glancing at it with apprehension because you know that it will shortly be torn apart by Vogon ships, and that the hills and trees around you will just burn up and blow away. And you hope there's time for a quick drink beforehand. You want to hitch a ride aboard the Vogon fleet, but are anxious because it's so long since you were through a matter transference beam. So last time we got to play as Zaphod, this time we're playing as Ford, it seems. The road runs from Arthur's home to the north, toward the village pub to the west. Okay, so Country Lane, we want to go north here to the front of the house. Before you is the house of your friend Arthur Dent, who is lying in front of a bulldozer. You have no idea why. You have no idea about most things about Arthur, even why you regard him as a friend, but you do, and must therefore return his towel before you leave. Nearby stands an impatient man. There seems to be a bit of an atmosphere. Okay, we're going to open our satchel here. Opening the satchel reveals Santraginian mineral water, a towel, the Hitchhiker's Guide, and an electronic sub-ether signaling device, and satchel fluff. Okay, we're going to need to get the towel and the fluff. And we're going to offer the towel to Arthur. Inexplicably, Arthur takes no notice of the towel, which magnificently you are trying to return to him. Instead, he says, "Ford, what about my home?" You start guiltily. Does he actually know that the Earth is about to be destroyed? You start to ask him, then stop. If he knows, what the zark is he doing lying in the mud in front of... You look around, you notice the bulldozer properly for the first time. You notice Arthur's house. You notice the workmen, the penny drops. His house is about to be demolished. You feel like a complete... What's the word? Okay, so the word we're looking for is idiot. Thank you. An idiot is exactly what you feel like. In a reckless moment, you go completely mad and decide that you ought to take Arthur with you. You try to tell Arthur about the importance of getting a drink, but rambling on about a man... He's rambling on about a man called Prosser. All right, we'll walk to Prosser. You walk around the bulldozer. Prosser is standing here, looking cross and frustrated. Realizing that you are a friend of Arthur's, he starts to talk at you. He says that this sort of protest is all very well, but what Mr. Dent must realize is that he's had plenty of time to make a formal protest at the proper time and place, and that spending months going through the appropriate official channels, filling in the appropriate official forms, and going to the appropriate official public hearings is the right way of going about it. And lying about whimsically in the mud is not. He says that he personally hates mud and despises the sort of people who lie in it. Prosser, lie down. Prosser blinks in astonishment. You mean go and lie in the mud in his place? You explain that Arthur will only move if someone else takes over for him. Prosser shakes his head in such a manner as to suggest that he is very weary of the world, and you tactfully forbear from mentioning that it won't be troubling him much longer. Reluctantly, he follows you back toward Arthur. You rapidly conclude the business. Prosser lies in the mud. Arthur, bewildered, nevertheless stands up and appears ready to follow you to the pub. All right, we'll go south and west to the pub. The pub is pleasant and cheerful and full of pleasant and cheerful people who don't know they've got about 12 minutes to live and are therefore having a spot of lunch. Some music is playing on an old jukebox. The exit is east. There is a barman serving at the bar. Arthur follows you in. Good. Let's buy beer. You order 6 pints of bitter, 3 for you, 3 for Arthur. According to the Hitchhiker's Guide, this should cushion your system against the coming shock of the matter transference beam. As you drink the first pint, you mention to Arthur that you are from a different planet, but it makes little impression. This surprises you because you thought it was the sort of thing that would interest people. Let's buy peanuts. You buy some peanuts, which you'll need to replace protein loss from the matter transference beam, a tip you picked up from the Hitchhiker's Guide. Let's go ahead and drink the beer. Let's make sure I type everything correctly at this point. It goes down well. At least they managed to get something right on this benighted planet. You decide it's time to tell Arthur that the world is about to end. You tell him. Arthur is completely unperturbed. Curious. You wonder what sort of news it would take to disturb him. Let's drink again. It goes down well. You hear a muffled crash. It's probably Arthur's little house getting knocked down, which you tell him. This does upset him, and he tears out the door. Through the window, you see him running up the lane. A small dog chases after him, yapping, and he throws it a cheese sandwich. The dog devours the sandwich with passion and ignores a passing microscopic space fleet. Okay, we will go east. Back to the country lane. You run up the lane at the road. Yeah. You run up the lane after Arthur. You pass a serene dog. Fate cannot harm him. He has dined today. We will go north here. You reach the site of what was Arthur's home. It is now a pile of rubble. Mr. Prosser looks sheepishly triumphant, a trick few people can do as it requires a lot of technically complex deltoid muscle work. We're at the front of the house. There is a huge pile of rubble to the north. A path leads around it to the northeast and northwest, and a country lane is visible to the south. Arthur Dent is here. Mr. Prosser from the local council is standing at the side of the bulldozer. He seems to be wearing a digital watch. We're going to give the fluff to Dent. Arthur hiccups, takes the fluff, and sticks it in his pocket. We will wait a few times at this point. Right on schedule, according to the news you picked up last night on your sub-ether Sensomatic, a huge fleet of Vogon constructor ships hurtles noisily through the sky. Time is very, very short. Storms break in the wake of the ships. The wind whips at you and makes it difficult to stand. You grab hold of a tree. We'll wait again. The vast yellow ships thunder across the sky, spreading waves of terror and panic in their wake. The voice of the Vogon captain slams across the country, insisting that the planning charts and demolition orders have been available at the local planning office in Alpha Centauri for 50 years, and it's too late to start making a fuss about it now. You remove the electronic sub-ether signaling device from your satchel. Lights pulsate across its surface. You fumble with the thumb as you hold on to the tree against the fierce wind. It falls to the ground near Arthur's feet. Arthur is struggling desperately towards you. The end of this planet is now only seconds away. Let's just wait then. Fierce gales whip across the land, and thunder bangs continuously through the air in the wake of the giant ships. You struggle to reach the thumb, but the wind is too fierce and you are driven back. Fortunately, at this point, Arthur picks up the thumb and somehow manages to push the right button. However often you do it, you are still stunned by the shock of dematerialization. The scene around is ripped away like a flimsy backcloth. Everything becomes dark. Okay. Wait. And then we can here and go south, and up. We will save again. Hitch 8. That was a long one, the country lane, but we did need to do that. Okay. Let's press the generator switch. And we will wait. Yeah, we should be good. A mist spins around your head. You fall into what seems like a bottomless pit. Suddenly you hit the bottom so hard that you wish it had been bottomless. It's just a different thing, but I think we're still fine. Feel, hear, taste, smell, which leaves... Wait, feel, hear, taste, smell, which leaves C. We've done both of the C's, so we can move on. Hear, smell, taste, see, which means I can hear. Let's do it. All right, this is the one that makes me nervous because you can screw up by doing this one. All right, hear. There's nothing you can taste, nothing you can see, nothing you can feel, nothing you can smell. You do not even know who you are. I should be able to hear something. There we go. I don't know why I didn't do it the first time. Oh. Here was actually on the list. That's why I guessed the wrong one. But we're fine now. Coming from far above. That's not the one that I want. Okay, hear, taste, see, feel. The one, if the hum of the star drive is from above you, if you go south, it takes you to entry bay number 2. So you just basically reset. Okay, hear, taste, see, feel. So I can smell, but I'm already done with smells. Hear, smell, taste, feel, which leaves see, but I've done both of those. Hear, see, smell, taste. All right, so we haven't done either one of these. This would be the feels. We need to actually do both of these. All right, so let's feel. It does feel a bit warm, wet, and squishy. There seems to be some liquid at your fingertips. You drink the liquid. It's weird. Warm, wet, and squishy means that we're going one way. If it was cold, wet, and squishy, it would be a different way. But let's drink this, and yuck, you are jerked to your senses by the realization that you are licking the lining of a whale's stomach. And now we are inside the sperm whale. You are in the stomach of a sperm whale. You can hear the distant sound of rushing wind. There is a flower pot here. Funny about that flower pot. We are going to need it, though. Okay, then we can put the pot in the thing. And then we just kind of wait. Splat. Everything becomes dark. Yeah, that is definitely a reference to the novel and the source material, basically. The splat. Sperm whale landed on the planet. Didn't make it. Okay, wait, and wait. Here, south, up. All right, so we made it back. I'm going to go ahead and drop another save. Hitch 8 is good. Okay. Press the generator switch. Like fog rolling in off the ocean, a shroud of blackness billows towards you. Unlike fog rolling in off the ocean, the blackness hits you like a 16-ton truck. Okay, let's wait. What do we have? Hear, smell, feel, or taste. That leaves see, but we've done both the sites. Wait. Hear, see, smell, or taste, which means I can feel. And it is this time cold, wet, and squishy. Once again, you do want to drink the liquid at your fingertips. It tastes just like wine. In fact, you realize with growing embarrassment that your hand is sitting in a glass of white wine. You're at a party being given by a distant and incredibly boring acquaintance. Among the people you've been introduced to are a shy, mousy fellow from the West Country named Arthur, and a flamboyant guy named Phil. You've had too many drinks already, and the room is beginning to buzz. And we've made it to a living room. You're in a large living room. There is a party going on. Other rooms lie to the west and southwest, and the apartment's front door is south of here. Phil is here. Arthur Dent is here. You notice the hostess approaching, but using several mingling couples as cover, you maneuver away. We are going to look at Arthur. Arthur seems nice and well-meaning, but also terribly shy. He has tried to start a conversation with you several times, but still hasn't gotten past hello. He has an enormous, unsightly ball of fluff on his jacket. All right, we're going to drop the wine. Arthur walks up and says, hello again. He looks shy, embarrassed, and stuck for anything else to say, and quickly walks to the other side of the room. We're going to get the fluff. You remove the jacket fluff, improving Arthur's appearance greatly. He is clearly touched and starts happily to chat away with you. You discover that he is only slightly more interesting to talk to than an averagely interesting wall. We're going to open the handbag. Opening the handbag reveals a pair of tweezers. The hostess, whom you've been avoiding all evening, scurries up with your glass of white wine. "Oh, hello, Tricia. How lovely to see you. I think you dropped this, dear." Arthur tries unsuccessfully to interest you by talking about newts he has known. We're going to go ahead and put the fluff in the handbag. "Tricia, dear," says the hostess insistently, "don't you want your glass of white wine?" Arthur tries unsuccessfully to interest you by talking about a new book by Douglas Adams. Sounds terrible. We are going to then get the wine. Arthur tries unsuccessfully to interest you by talking about cricket. Cricket the sport. I don't think we're ever going to talk about cricket too much. I don't think there's a video game that plays cricket, but maybe I'm wrong. Nothing comes to mind. All right, wait. Now he's talking about computers, and wait again. Phil comes up and grips your shoulder. "Hey, babe, this guy boring you? Why not come with me instead? I'm from a different planet." So Phil turns out to be Zaphod. He takes you to the parking lot where his flashy interorbital ion scooter is parked between two Volkswagens. After mounting it, the scooter accelerates at such great speed that you black out almost immediately. Everything becomes dark. So now we've basically taken over as all of the other characters, main characters, human-ish characters, humanoid characters, not counting the robot, basically. All right, wait a few times. Here, south, south, and up, and we're back here. Announcement. This is Eddie, the shipboard computer. We have just landed on the legendary lost planet of Magrathea. I don't want anyone going outside until I've checked the atmosphere. Climatic conditions, existence of dangerous wildlife, airborne diseases, volcanic activity, presence of real estate agents, and more than 8,000 other possible dangers. This routine check will take 14.9 years. And don't even think about leaving until I finish, because I'm jamming the hatch. I believe I still need to go to the war chamber in order to move on. Yeah, I still don't have enough points, so we still have to deal with this. Let's go ahead and save again. Hitch 8, and we will press the generator switch, and we'll try to go to the last one, but we have made it to the planet. Yeah, we have seen that one before. Okay, so let's wait. I need to wait for here. Taste, see, feel, smell. Perfect here. From far above, not the one I was looking for. Here, see here. Taste, see, feel, smell here. All right, you hear the deep and distant hum of a star drive coming from far below. There is an exit to the port, but once again, it is south. They lie about that all the time. We were lying about the exit to port. You emerge from a small doorway. Spread before you, astonishingly enough, is the war chamber of a star battle cruiser. Through the domed canopy of the ship, you can see a vast battle fleet flying in formation behind you through the black glittering emptiness of space. Ahead is a star system towards which you are hurtling at a terrifying speed. There is an ultraplasmic vacuum all here. Standing near you are two creatures who are gazing at the star system with terrible hatred in their eyes. One is wearing black jeweled battle shorts, and the other is wreathed in a cloud of green, sweet-smelling steam. They are engaged in conversation. The fleet continues to hurtle sunwards. All right, so this is the dangerous one. This is the war chamber. This is where those people that have been at war for, ever, because I said the wrong thing, have been hanging out. So, going here twice, I am told, will basically just kill you, or basically make you lose. So hopefully I only have to come here once and I can do this properly. We will get the all. We'll put the all in the thing, because I haven't dropped that in a long time. The fleet's just continuing to hurtle sunwards. We are going to wait at this point until something happens. Your simple act of kindness at a moment of great personal anxiety, you fed the dog, remember? Now brings rich rewards. The battle fleet plunges toward Earth and spots the dog, which appears to them as a gigantic monster, cheerfully tucking into a cheese sandwich. The Vilhurgs and the Gugvents are moved by this simple picture of happiness compared with the furious savagery of their own lives. They think back to a day when they used to relax over an odd cheese sandwich themselves, often at sunset after a hearty day working in the fields back in Vilhurgon and Gugvia, and decide to return and rebuild their homes in a new spirit of harmony and cooperation. Grateful, they offer to drop you at the Heart of Gold on the way home. After a brief 900 parsec trip, you are escorted into the transporter chamber of the warship. The transporter glows and your surroundings change, and we've made it to a maze. This is part of a spongy gray maze of twisty little synapses, all alike. I don't know, maybe it's just me, but that sounds like a brain. Gray, synapses. We'll see. Let's go north. An electrical impulse across a synapse gap temporarily blocks your way. We kind of just need to keep going north until we find something. And it'll say a couple different things, but eventually we will make it. Yeah, you were still going north, like I said, temporarily, but you can keep going north. We're still in the maze. And keep going. Come on, north, north. There we go. This is part of a spongy gray maze of twisty little synapses all alike. Blocking the gap between two synapses is a large black particle. There seems to be some faint markings on it. We're going to get the particle here. As you remove the particle, electrical impulses begin leaping madly across the now unblocked synaptic gap. Unfortunately, you were in the gap at the time. Everything becomes dark. All right. Wait 4 more times, then you can hear and go south. And then south and up. And we're back at the bridge. Okay, so we got all the things that we need. I have 225 points. That's the magic number. Actually, I need to get something else at this point. So let's go down south again, and this time we're at the aft end of the corridor. Remember, there was a gangway leading downward from here. We want to go down from here, and then we can get the toolbox. We're at the bottom of the gangway. A hatch below you is closed. There's a small access space to starboard. There's a small key here, small toolbox. There's a toolbox here. I think I just needed the toolbox. It looks like the toolbox contains seat cushion fluff, a magnifying glass, and a laser-assisted monkey wrench. We will go ahead and get the toolbox. Go up, north, and up. Back to the bridge. Okay. From here, we can get the T, but we drop the no T. So let's get the no T as well. I now have T and no T. Because we removed the particle from the maze, you can now carry both at the same time. That little black particle, I assume in Arthur's brain, was preventing us from actually doing that. All right, get pocket fluff. Get seat cushion fluff. And wrench. Let's do that. Drop toolbox. Put the wrench in the thing. There's a lot of maneuvering to do here. Open the handbag. Opening the handbag reveals the pair of tweezers and jacket fluff. Get jacket fluff and tweezers. We're getting a lot of fluff here. Put the tweezers in the thing. Get the gown. Get the satchel fluff from the gown. Okay, so we got like a lot of fluff. We have the satchel fluff, jacket fluff, cushion fluff, and pocket fluff. Very important and distinguished fluffs. All right, we need to get the flower pot. Put all fluff in flower pot. So the satchel fluff, you dig a small hole, gingerly place the fluff at the bottom and cover it over. All of that happens with all the different fluffs. Yes, it's all the same. Okay, we will wait 3 times. You notice a tiny movement from the flower pot. You look closely and see a tiny sprout poking out of the soil. Okay, let's move west, moving the long dangly bit first, and we enter the sauna. After several hours, you come out a changed man. You have with you a changed plant. Examine the plant, not the planet. The plant is now large and leafy. Hanging from it is a large succulent fruit. Okay, we're going to eat the fruit. The fruit has a zesty taste, and you devour it greedily. Suddenly your vision wavers, and you see yourself as though from a distance standing near Marvin, who asks you for a pair of hypersonic pliers. Then the image vanishes like a movie when the film breaks, and you find yourself still in the bridge. It seems that this plant is a rare horticultural phenomenon long thought to be extinct, the tree of foreknowledge. So what we have to do is remember which tool Marvin is asking for here. So he wanted the hypersonic pliers. It changes, so remember that one. He wants pliers. Hopefully I remember that. Let's go down and south. And then we will open door. The door is almost speechless with admiration. Wow, simultaneous tea and no tea. My apologies, you are clearly a heavy-duty philosopher. It opens respectfully. Hooray. Now we can finally do what we've wanted to do this whole time. Drink the tea. This is the finest tea you have ever had. You have ever tasted. It has almost made this entire misadventure seem worthwhile. You experience several moments of complete happiness and relaxation. The cup itself vaporizes, part of the galactic anti-litter program. All right, let's go west. Upon entering the room, you are battered by tidal waves of depression. However, the happiness derived from your high score and that thoroughly excellent cup of tea you had recently help you to survive. Yeah, we have 375 points. We're doing pretty well. This is Marvin's pantry. This is a small closet with an exit to starboard. Marvin, the paranoid android, is here. There's a thermofusion chisel here. Let's get the chisel. And we'll put the chisel in the thing. And we will say to Marvin, open hatch. Humans are so depressingly demanding. Do this, pick up that, unjam the opening mechanism of the other, meet me in the hatchway access space in 12 turns. I suppose, he mutters, you can count up to 12. So hard to know with morons. And don't forget to bring the proper tool. And he's Marvin the paranoid android, but he's also very depressed. All right, anyway, we want to go east. And down from here. And from here, we want to say, get pliers. Yeah, we got those out of the thing. And then we want to drop all except pliers. And then we can move east into the access space. This tiny area with an exit to port is for working on the hatch mechanism, which is vastly more complicated than your rather ordinary intelligence can comprehend. The floor is an open metal mesh, like the floor of a catwalk. All right, let's wait a few times here. Marvin shambles in. Marvin, looking bored, says, hand me a pair of hypersonic pliers. Okay, so let's give pliers to Marvin. All right, we're up to 400. Marvin fiddles inside the mechanism with the pair of hypersonic pliers for about 0.3 of a second. You hear the hatchway slide open. I don't expect you to be grateful, says Marvin. or even interested, but that was probably more complicated than every single action you'll ever perform in your entire life put together. He limps away, and me, you hear him mutter as he goes, with this terrible pain in all the diodes down my left side. Jeez. Let's head west, back to the hatchway. You are at the bottom of a gangway. The hatch below you is open. There's a small access space to starboard. Right. And there's the thing with all the things and all the other things. Let's head down the ramp. There we go. You step onto the landing ramp leading down toward the surface of the legendary lost planet of Magrathea. Announcement. This is Eddie, the shipboard computer. Someone is leaving the ship on a strange planet without wrapping up all nice and warm. It'll all end in tears. I just know it. The voice fades behind you. Ramp. The wind moans. Dust drifts off across the surface of the alien world. Zaphod, Ford, and Trillian appear and urge you forward. Slowly, nervously, you step downwards. The cold, thin air rasping in your lungs. You set one single foot on the ancient dust, and almost instantly the most incredible adventure starts, which you'll have to buy the next game to find out about. By the way, there was a causal relationship between your taking the toothbrush and the tree collapsing at the very beginning of the game. We apologize for this slight inaccuracy. Your score is 400 of a possible 400 in 394 turns. You know, obviously, the number of turns can be improved upon, but 400 points, I am happy to have completed the game entirely. Would you like to start over, restore a safe position, get hints, or end this session of the game? All right, so we have beaten the game. That is The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy video game now played. And with the game now played, it's time to talk about how it holds up today. Playing the game today, I do have to say that I had quite a bit of fun. I had a lot more fun in the second video, this video, than I did in the first video. I think it took a little bit before things got really good. Basically, once you got on the Heart of Gold, that's when the humor kicked in. That's when the kind of exploration kind of kicked in, and that's when I had a lot more fun with it. In that's basically once you're on the Heart of Gold and kind of maneuver around there. I think the humor from the original series, the radio broadcast, and the novel, I think they are represented fairly well in some aspects of the game. There are some aspects that I feel were lacking, especially the early part where they just kind of try to move you into the Heart of Gold, where kind of the main thrust of the game's intent went, where it's just exploring around and seeing all these different scenarios from all these different sides. And I think that the humor is much, much better in those scenarios than they were when we were trying to escape Earth and the Vogon ship. I think that the novel is funny from the very beginning, and it continues to be funny throughout. So I feel like there was a bit of a missed opportunity early on to be funny. It's just because I'm kind of fond of the books that I kind of have this opinion. But honestly, I do think that there was a bit of a tonal change between the two different parts of the game. And so, although overall I really did enjoy it, I did feel a little like the humor and the fun wasn't necessarily there early on. And it might deter a lot of people away from the game. But if you stick with it, I think that the humor is definitely worthwhile and the adventure is very fun. With that said, I don't think it holds up very well because there are puzzles that you don't even know are puzzles, and there's no way that you're going to be able to, I would say, solve any of the more difficult puzzles the first time that you play a game. Guides will definitely help. I don't think that you're going to know to put the towel over your head to confuse the beast. I don't think that you're going to be able to figure out the Babelfish without some sort of guide. And even all the little random sections at the end with all the different senses and all that, those are too difficult for newcomers. It's going to require several attempts, lots of back and forth guessing and checking, and sometimes you can't even beat the game because of what you messed up, 300 turns ago. It's an issue. And this is, of course, in the days before where it was easy to find a lot of the information needed to beat the game. But the game does provide some hints, and rumors were going around about how to do it. But ultimately, I would say that the game is too difficult without some sort of hint or guide system that is available now, but not necessarily available back then. So if you are going to play the game now, which I would recommend, explore around, try to see what else the game has to offer, I would recommend having guides in front of you to help you sort out what needs to happen. Also, in terms of the gameplay, I feel that there was way too much waiting, just kind of let something else happen, when I didn't necessarily feel like I had an active part in what was happening. But then again, that's kind of how the novel goes. Like, Arthur Dent doesn't necessarily make things happen. Things just kind of happen to him. So it's much more in the spirit of the novel, but it doesn't necessarily translate well to video games, and I want to be in control. So those are kind of my main gripes with the game, but overall the game is very good, and I think it does hold up well. If you are interested in text adventure games and are willing to look up guides, this is definitely a game worth checking out, and I would recommend playing it. This is one of the best examples of interactive fiction that we have played to this point. And that's my modern take on the game. When the game was released, it proved to be popular. In 1984, Infocom sold 59,000 copies of The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. It would go on to sell 400,000 copies, becoming one of the most popular games of the time. Reviewers at the time also enjoyed the game. In particular, the humor of the game was seen as a bright spot, although the game's difficulty was seen as too high. In fact, the Babelfish puzzle proved to be so difficult that Infocom would start to sell shirts proclaiming, "I got the Babelfish." As time has gone on, the game has retained its positive reputation. While the gameplay was seen as safe for Infocom, who had now released 14 games in the same game engine, the humor of the game and the quality of the writing are what makes this game stand out. The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy will occasionally make lists of best video games of all time. While the game did have a sequel named Milliways, the restaurant at the end of the universe, planned, that sequel never came to fruition and was cancelled. However, the game would receive re-releases throughout the years. Infocom, with another success on their hands, would continue to release video games. We will continue to talk about Infocom in the future. As for Douglas Adams, although he would continue to write and would continue to write for a couple video games, nothing would reach the same success as The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. We will mention Douglas Adams again, but only briefly. As for Steve Meretzky, he would continue to create games, and we will hear from him again in the future. That will do it for the story of The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy video game for now. My name is Baller Scuba. This has been Video Games Over Time. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in our next video when we attempt the impossible.